So white carpet in a recording studio.
It should not be in there.
Yeah.
It's like, why the fuck do you want white carpet?
I mean, if you're wearing nothing but socks and cocaine, I guess.
Or it's like, how about having white chairs? The amount of farting you do, it's going to leave you some brown streaks in there.
Yeah, I mean, dudes have farted up these chairs
Exactly.
already.
Look, it's just like this brown stain.
Yeah, I mean, they've been here, they've existed for 24 hours so far, farts already. So, 2024 seemed like it was a wonderful year for you.
Yes, it was.
You moved back into Paul's studio, right?
I moved back to Muse Studio, Paul Foley Studio, the Pro Tools Ninja, which he might be going back to engineering again because he misses it.
And people need great engineers.
Oh,
in
he's
LA,
great.
so.
He's great. Yeah, especially with the whole setup that he has. He makes that C800 sound great by using that GML mic pre thing that they have. I think it's a 8020. But there he is, right there. There's Paul. We're just talking about you.
We're talking about you.
Come in.
Yeah, we're talking
We're
about
talking about you. Come sit down.
We're talking
Come
about
on.
you. We were literally just talking about how he just
talking about
moved
the Pro
back into
Tools
your
Ninja.
Studio. So how's it having Jean-Marie back in the studio?
It's great. Non-stop work.
What's been your guys' favorite stuff at NAMM so far this year?
For me personally, well, let's start off with the Metric Halo stuff, the make-believe Metric Halo stuff. What the hell is that Mel doing? And then you got me fucked up with that whole thing with David Bendith, which I fucking met him. It took me 30 years to meet him. Then you guys got a shitload of stuff coming out. That is really friggin' cool. The coolest thing that I saw was that Tangerine Audio. Did you see the fader thing? I got to show you that, Paul.
I haven't seen the fader thing, but I saw a meter.
The meter thing.
Yeah.
The meter thing. You remember the meter that you always wanted with the VU? And they got it digitally over there at Tangerine. That was really cool. And there was one thing that I saw that I actually want to turn on. Actually, two things that I saw. One was from Craneborn Audio.
Yeah.
They have this harmonic thing that's really cool. They have it in the 500 series, and they also have it as a standalone. The standalone is digitally controlled, but it's an analog box.
Yes. And it does like an EQ, but instead of using EQ, it's harmonic.
Harmonics,
Yes.
exactly, which gives it that really cool texture. Paul is going to like that. And then the Maselect stuff. I saw Frank Ogilvie. I haven't seen him in such a long time. I like the new Maselect thing where it's like you can have, it's basically two stereo compressors working at the same time if you choose to. Okay. So one could be doing one thing, the other could be doing another thing. You can mix it in there. And I thought that was kind of cool because, the one thing, Rick, this was a great year. There's some personal things that have changed, but it didn't change the drive of the music that I loved. And it was that Mutt record, that whole Leon Thomas album, which we did it at Paul's spot. And I just think that what I'm really excited about is hopefully getting our music community back to the studio, back to real recording, trusting the engineer, getting the labels to actually pay for fucking studio time instead of saying, okay, we just want content. We just want content. Well, what about the classy stuff? That's why things starting to sound good, like with the Leon Thomas stuff. By the way, there's a lot of the mix head was on there, by the way. Awesome. So a shout out with the mix head. Also, a lot of it, also the good math was really good too for me on the background vocals. Going back to real recordings, going back to like taking time to do a great record. Because it just shows. The new thing that we're trying to do that Paul's allowed me to do is this new Ant Clemens record. It's going to be great.
Very cool.
That's going to be real. And also the new Coco Jones album.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
You're doing them both over there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You got to come by.
I would love to come by.
You got to come by.
You
got to come by.
And one thing I love about the work that you've been doing over the past couple of years is, I feel like we're, not only your work has always felt this way, but the production has finally moved into this sense where music is starting to feel real again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
And I think that that's why a guy like you is having such a banner year in 2024 that I know will continue into 2025.
Yeah.
Is because you have a skill set when, there's something Lego-y to me about slapping together a pile of loops and
Yes.
calling it an arrangement.
Yes.
And then, grabbing some presets and then calling that a mix from those loops.
Right.
Where now where people are recording real instruments, they're getting real sounds with real microphones, they're picking a microphone because this one's brighter and I want my congos to be brighter,
Yep.
And then they're sending them to a dude like you who can understand how that, these need to be processed because they were recorded with a real microphone instead of just, turned up,
Rick, and here's the thing, Rick. It's like we need young ears, but these young ears are getting taught only about Pro Tools. They don't know the lineage of how to record a microphone. What a U67 sounds like. No one knows how to say, well, we want to see 800, but a U67 that has a different characteristic, and it's like they want to hear sharp, bright all of a sudden. But you know what? A seasoned engineer would say the return can have that brightness by taking the microphone and sending it as an aux, sending that microphone into the record channel, which that record channel can get the brightness of it. So it's like almost like it's like people don't realize how to do that anymore.
No, and it just is a weird thing for me because like this thing changed, the whole game changed right as I got into the industry. Like right when I first started, that was like, okay, we're working on an Atari MTR 90 and you got to get a fucking sound. Because if you come back and you try and boost high end after you record it, it's going to get shittier and hissier. You know what I mean?
The brittleness, yeah. And the hiss.
So you had to like get a sound after it. But then like right after that, the DA88s happened and then Pro Tools fucking happened real quick to me. And then people were like, okay, we're going to take a C414 with no high-end boost or anything and record it through a high-definition, GML preamplifier to a DAW as sterile as fucking possible and then never touch it. And if you touch it, you didn't do a good job in the first place. And then, now we're at the point where it's like, okay, now we're going to take a bright microphone that has distortion, record it through distorted things, and then distort it with more plugins.
Yeah.
All of these things have led me to like a place where it's like, okay, how do you rectify going through those changes for yourself and say, this is what I like? And is there things that you picked up from each era and, continued on with? Or is there shit that you just left behind?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like, as mixers of today, we always try to keep current. But the whole thing is, we always go back, just like fashion. People want that old sound. People want the old clothing. Like shit, I saw people wearing fucking leg warmers, and my daughter's like saying, "This is amazing." I said, "Honey, that's from the 1980s."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so if you stay convicted to your ears.
Do you think they're ready for the New Jack Swing?
Oh God, I hope so. 'Cause I'll be cranking
fucking
it.
Killing
oh my
it.
God, because you know why? There's music.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's real
They
musicianship.
played those parts.
Yeah.
That I love those fucking talkbox parts. That.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's the thing. It's like, I was just talking to Dave Way, and I took Dave Way's. I had to fill in some heavy shoes when Dave left, and he even said, he goes, Jean, you had a transition from the sound. You had that new 90s New Jack Swing sound, and I'm proud of that. But you know what? They're doing like the records right now. It's reminding me of when I first started, and really taking our time to say, you know what? I'm not trying to do new school. I'm trying to go old school. And 9 out of 10 times it works. And actually working with Paul again, and Paul, like I said, Paul's trying to get back into his engineering thing because he's fucking bored. He goes like this. He said, I really like this. And Paul is he's persnickety about what he likes. What I noticed about what Paul likes is structure and song balance. And this kid, Ann Clements, does that.
Yeah, I mean, really, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about balance.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned from David Bendeth,
Oh, God, he's great.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, my God.
And, I mean, we just, literally, I'll be on my SSL audio moving to David in New Jersey, and we'll just be balanced in drums, and he'll be like, oh, it sounds pretty good. Hi-hat up a little. And he's like, yeah, pretty good, Let me hear some more floor tom, But hey, we got a bar here, so
Okay.
we're gonna continue this at your house.
Yes.
We're coming to the studio. We're finishing this interview there.
Yep.
We'll see you soon, Internet.